Looking at them like I'm a piece of shit. I'm legit. I'm legit. I'm legit. What about those? What's up, stream? I'm streaming. I'm streaming. Let's make sure my stream is working and everything is good and everything is hot and sexy. What's happening right now? What's up, stream? I'm streaming. Okay. Should I turn my mic down a little bit, actually? Give me a sec. Okay, that's better, I think. Okay. I want to try this game, so I'm gonna try it now. I'd have to buy episode 1. I think I'm gonna like this game a lot, so I'll probably buy episode 1 and try it. But for now, let's play episode 0, aka the prologue of the devil. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Rain sizzles left neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambience, fuck, I don't know. Emphasis and slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. The city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. Morgan is her name, I think. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, and anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't bulk at public defender work, no matter the hour. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke them if you got them. Not that there's much else I can do until... You got a message? My phone? Counselor, public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. Oh. I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll use that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Are you saying you have an ego, bro? What the hell? Of the Devil, episode 0. And he shall appear. I will enable them, because this might be confusing. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. With nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates may be damned. High clearance rates be damned. You'd think they'd treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever, if I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Ah! I'm just gonna volume down a little bit, actually, it's pretty loud. That's it, okay. Inspect. high traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations, pragmatic brutalism so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles, the civil planning equivalents of battle scars, from a fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built, but walking in here now with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. This game shares a lot of big words, right? An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum, though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they hired witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing the lineups in the first place. Give me a sec. Hello, dog. Come in. Hey, dog. What's up? Emmett. My dog's in here, so I don't know if he's gonna stay or not. Give me a sec. Emmett, what are you doing back here? You gonna leave? What are you doing? Oh, Emmett. Oh, bro, I'm streaming. Okay, there we go. He's sitting down. Okay, let's continue. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in the setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. But there's no room to sow doubt anymore, not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. I don't really understand what any of that meant, but whatever. Read. A data pad? I'll bite. Even when they're more advertised in the article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. I have to read this whole thing? Okay. Subway fixes acts. City to refocus the canopy. Declaring the subway's tunnels to be irreparably flooded, city engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the system were being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive electronic cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures were cited as a reason for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintenance and expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the canopy, high above our city streets. Reactions to the announcement could be characterized as something. It's been years since the subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. The most citizens have long since given up on hope on them ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attention focused instead on the growing investigations into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. As one of the canopy's major backers in City Hall, Long I'm having hard trouble reading right now. I'm like stuttering and shit. Long has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light and noise pollution, and with Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-city political foundation of the canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week. But with the subways now officially no longer an option, people and corporations alike have little choice for how they complete their morning commute. However, not all reactions to the news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as a vindication, and possibly even a rallying cry. Let me drink water. I need water, bruh. Oh god. So much text. Already considered by many to be a rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi taxi pods that could make use of the flooded subway tunnels, but momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at a disappointing 3,359% over budget. That's a lot. The one council member was quoted as calling their system mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical in the extreme. In light of this latest announcement, Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea level to climate change, though there are dissenting voices. Water rises and falls all the time, for reasons we do not fully understand. It appears that you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account information in order to continue reading the stories that matter. Let me just see what they said again. So rising sea levels, the trains aren't running. There's a major backer named the Councilman Long. Okay, I guess that's all I didn't know then. Ballsy of them, putting the paywall there. As if I'd reach for my wallet after having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its efforts on... Fuck! Subterra. Wait, Subterra's back in the news? I wouldn't trust their engineers to get a whole wheelbarrow down a hill. But their stock will get a bump in the short term anyway. Until people remember how chronically inane their ideas are. I should call my broker when the sun comes up. Did I get it right? Lock phone? Oh, I meant to close it, okay. Store? Charmless. What does that mean? White phone case. I don't want to read all this, low-key. I just want to play the game. I'm only gonna read what's important to, like, the story, you know? Save game, there we are. Let's examine this. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably null the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken, entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. But there's a few missing persons, too. 1 year of silver plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. Alright. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. Oh, desk. It booted up fine. So far, so good. Good morning. Morgan, here for the public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Wait, did she say something? Fuck, I missed it. Oh, okay, they just said that, okay. Great, please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call intake hollows charming, more like harmless. But that's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their tech, so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far so good, was it? Scan my card. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great! Now could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why did they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card in my profile. I'd have to be a whole world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's... December 26th. December 26th. Perfect! Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel, sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection, dully wrapped. I can't read it, bro. Dully warped around across. Jesus Christ. Gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? Are they ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. That'll be all, thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office, through the door to your right. Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So, you could go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks, and they don't even get my jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Eyes gone bad or something? A voice. No, voices coming from down the hall. Compared to yours, probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. A building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you being about me. Probably I appreciate you worrying about me. Forbid I try to be serious, while the other rings with youthful indignation. It's not like our job is important or anything. Definitely cops. And at this precinct at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same on a data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. It makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother? I wasn't gonna say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? Oh. No red carpet tonight, officers? Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around at these hours. Fuck. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan, Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Quasim, London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farrah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Ha. Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. Ahem. We're the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight we're also your humble guide to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around at the courthouses before. He never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in this profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? Two-hole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive in the scene. No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation? Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well bite at this point. So you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. And we've got the bastard dead to the rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead out. And if you're smart, You'll pass this shitstorm into some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer? They cover utilities of the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK. Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. The name has been plastered all over the city for weeks, their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend, their presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, in the media, on the net, everyone's indulging in the exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy without it. Along with everyone else. One bullet straight to the heart, body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but it missed the swell of every other 100-word article out there, catching his chump's originality. What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. It takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Sounds robotic. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it is not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. I guess they're all just firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. But they don't commit murder. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. That's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders? Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago, when we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is his heartbreak killer, and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds... compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files, and the ARCs, of course. Join the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I should probably read some stuff that Rourke's giving me. What's an ARC? Augmented reality scene. Fuck. Automated dependent. Heartbreak killer likes killing, dislikes getting caught. Favorite color, probably red. Zodiac sign, probably not into astrology. That's funny. I like that. Okay. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you two some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney, you're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're gonna be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever, let your client stew in interrogation all night for all I care. And Tara, you mean the counseling quarters? Or at your disposal, counselor? Loose wires, missing panels, an aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They've got a stunning clearance rate, and they work fast. Guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe they're right. Maybe their job is easy, what with our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. A dumping ground to the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single note of personalization. Is she so new that she hasn't had time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. Oh shit, more reading. God damn it. I don't think I'm gonna read this whole. I'm not gonna read this whole thing out loud. I'm just gonna like skim over it because it's gonna take forever if I read all this out loud. Stock increases for Noble Electronics. It's very Noble Electronics, like the most popular company ever or something. Noble announced that the 16th line would be the first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components, so-called war mandroids. Looked up, down upon. Focusing more on civilian consumers than like military and industrial sectors. I'm kind of spacing out during this, but I can't read all this. Jesus. Hey fam. Dr. Asher himself is nowhere to be seen at the event. For Noble Industries. He's the Noble's famed lead programmer, but he wasn't at his own event. Okay. Maybe he's the murderer, I don't know. He's in the news again. It's no wonder. Can't spit without it landing on a piece of Noble tech these days. Especially not where the state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to war androids, though. For government use, they're just too expensive? They're just too expensive to justify. Wait, what am I thinking? No state's ever had a problem with spending money on war-based scrap. I just answered wrong again. I'm dumb. What does frail even mean, bro? What the? You shouldn't have cleaned up so much for just little... You shouldn't have cleaned up so much just for a little me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Okay, nothing else jumps out at me around here. I've got a better idea of who I'm dealing with at least. Now I need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. Okay. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I am not a painted dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state's like you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. C. Thank you. There we go. Alright, if I project it from my phone... look at this. Augmented reality crime scene. ARG. That's not right. Alright, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. A stand-up mirror, shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm while shards of glass were scattered, far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. Seemed like this vase got tossed aside at some point. And yeah, there's not a scratch on it. It must be pretty damn durable. Isn't the art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta, single gunshot wound to the heart, and brief, death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else, and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood spatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. How the hell did they shoot them? What else can I examine here exactly? Oh, right there. Okay, gun. The murder weapon, a revolver found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs particularly disassembled the damn thing, but all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this, but no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown and whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris. Flag is irrelevant. That's their technical assessment. Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything that the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? The hell is that? Okay, let's look at that. Something in the victim's hand? How the hell did... It's just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs is... and tripexazone, a synthetic glucorticoid medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her toxin is clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and it still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kickers, everything here that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs, nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before, but not much more. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time at night? First person who comes to mind is... I suppose it could be something important. It's not. Currently texting with Brat, bro. Like, the album. What couldn't wait until morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps? Not illegal. Let me finish! They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomachache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you've already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? That's what they look like, okay. Where are they, bro? Is that your mugshot? I wasn't gonna knock at a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case, but I'm working right now, so... Anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Bro. Well, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid things kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can't read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder like Hardy B is like... quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job, lol? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You're taking up lost cause pro bono's work? It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give it lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday, I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What? What's with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 AM, kid. You've got like school in like 3 hours. Shit! Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text messages, I take it? Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sorry. Song was hard. Andrews and cuffs. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd be at least a few androids around. Aren't many androids in plenty police stations this week, not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts in Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest... Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp there is. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping, at least. But these talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those worm androids? Worm, yuck. Might as well call them the adult line. Might see them in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Worm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Yet? You really think that'll happen? We already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds. Doesn't seem like that big a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives? With all the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk to us? With your warm personality, I can't imagine. A cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions, you're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal in a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're gonna start posting shit that'll get you put on a list. Well, we certainly don't want that. But flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She needn't have specified, it's the only real union there is anymore. So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Backer Flat, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already? They really do think he's a serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Shaw. First degree? That's increasingly rare. To say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. The city's gone damn near more cameras than people, so you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times, so what does that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nutjobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So the serial killer chose his victims at random? If they have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than they all look like cousins. What? The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes about the same height, comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You really gonna try to tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from the portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think, what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits. Then you put the shoe on the... What sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence when people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loner strangers, or workers. He was probably building up the nerves for tonight by practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there had been signs of hesitation, nerves. There would have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile, if you ask me. That was weird. What the hell was that? I saw the time of death as 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth, but we've managed thanks to the less biased sources, and we're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. So they interviewed witnesses? Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend are arguing loudly with one another, starting around 8 p.m. Neighbors are very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us all about the Happy's couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered, but things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. I honestly don't know how much longer I can do this. This is like hurting my throat. Like I want to read this out loud for like, you know, stream and stuff, but it just really hurts. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. Scrubbing? It's not kind of obvious, actually. I don't know why I don't know why I asked. I already knew what scrubbing was. Like, scrubbing the internet. Flat? Okay. But we heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right, emergency services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was, but the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 p.m., establish a perimeter, even enter through the open front door at 9:10 p.m. Can't read. And then they find your client, crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point they moved his cue to the scene. And the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand is singular? Your client's modded cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with the HOW 85 Habilis industrial grade, it looks like. Says he specs for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Considering a career change? No, it's not that, it's just, your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? But getting back on track, that arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. He can't work without it, money got tight. The arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance he'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan was found his fingerprints in the revolver, and no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind, the real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54. Sex chamber 10 mm. Calver? How retro. What is Calver? I got that. Calver. A manufacturer. Okay, just a manufacturer of fucking shit. Guns. Calver, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags? How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulls, safeties, coded to owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous and ambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? How else do you think he'd gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the very first psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update with wall was set in. So then, M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. So this takes place in 2084? Okay, that's good to know. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old, too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig, but with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks in all 6 bullets that the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that are old, marked by the barrel shape. Only old guns, I guess? I didn't know that. So if all 6 bullets have the same rifling marks, we know they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. True, but I will. An untagged gun. Just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize, then, you believe that my client fought verbally then physically with his girlfriend, and then he retrieved his weapon and shot her? Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his effect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost him point to the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. And so long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, we've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories to hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gotten away with... We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. The National DNA Registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras in every street, a phone in every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at an all-time highs. But, you're gonna spout some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along... Good point. London's trying to look like he can laugh it off, but pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching his peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department's SOP still dictates that we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. Let's read that. Opt-in crime surveillance system is a partnership program between the state, allows for the free sharing of surveillance and security data, better promote public safety. So it's just a public security system, pretty much. Oh, true. Let's save again. How is that even possible? I know that there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? Sorry. I understand your concern, ma'am, but optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the city's security network. It's not perfect. Just another one of the many public safety tools in their belt. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes, or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with few holes left in it, but it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There are all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved, but the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small. In short, taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You'd need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They'd have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. This file says it's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just loses city planning. So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times and locations where optics would be down, even with the devil's own luck. It can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed, yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight, right on schedule, so to speak, and it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about the DNA from other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage, no forensics. Also, no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we ever caught him, and we even caught him tonight, was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So is my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough to work with. In other words, the only thing they have, the only thing they could have, to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Oh no. Well, that's, unexpected. I'm sorry, you're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I'll need to see this confession for myself. Let's read it. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or what I did. Did not want any of this to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough. I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer, and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual. And that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt he'll be in any danger. He killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Cameras off if you don't mind. Mike's on or off is your call, counselor, but we'll be watching the feast right from outside in case anything happens. And the cuff, that is, stays on. That worried about me? Chow, chivalrous. Yeah, my arm is practically blinding. Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime, if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. What is that? God damn it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. It saves the court a great deal of time and money, and they show greater gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna stop for now because my throat hurts. Jesus. Okay. Thanks for watching for now. I might continue this later on, but I'm not sure when.